Is Central Texas Command Center deep behind enemy lines? The information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Sunday, the 21st day of February, 2010. We're going to be live here for the next 2 hours. And the news every week just gets heavier and more serious, and more examples of just off the charts, Big Brother, 1984, Brave New World type society. It's unspeakable. I am shocked. Alex Jones, who lives this constantly, cannot believe how fast this is all moving. Here are the stacks. Back from the dead, Democrats vow to Rahm Emanuel through health care. I have a huge stack of government-sponsored terror news that has been declassified. 9 months before Operation Northwoods, government leaders suggested false flag terror in Dominican Republic to bomb our own embassy, to blame it on them. That's coming up. A lot of new developments with Joe Stack and the kamikaze attack Thursday in Austin, Texas, against the IRS/FBI building in the Echelon office building complex. Stack's family has told the AP that it sounds nothing like him, and the writing doesn't sound like him from the suicide note. Also, we've been covering this since last Wednesday, but it's just now really hit national news. And yes, it's true, and yes, it's happening everywhere that we know. Everywhere you spot check. We discovered 6 years ago that public schools were giving laptops all over the Western world, you pay for it in tax money, to the students for several reasons, several surveillance reasons. Everything they write, they say, they do, the English class, the history class lessons, everything is written. The health class is set up so that the articles you write, that you're ordered to write, are really dossiers on your family. That's been in the mainstream news, but only here and there. And that also, not so much the video camera in the last 5-6 years that are in all the new laptops. They're using that to watch you as well, and that's now confirmed. It's the audio. They're recording everything. So just be aware of that. And it's built into the cell phones, the laptops, the computers, everything. The switch happened about 6 years ago. And this is all declassified. It's just the average person, when you tell them this, can't believe it. But we'll break it down. And now the FBI is investigating. Give me a break. They're the ones behind it all. So that is coming up today. Also, Ron Paul won the presidential straw poll at CPAC, the big, all-important Republican conference they have every year. He got the biggest standing ovation a year ago. This time, he won the straw poll against Mitt Romney, Sarah Palin, all of them. Well, of course he did. And every time he gets up and gives an anti-war speech in front of Republicans, the whole House almost falls down. It's an illusion. It's a hoax that conservatives want war. It's a lie. It's a fraud. Are there some morons out there? Obviously. There's some Democrats out there that want war. But the majority of real conservatives don't want it. And understand that it's bankrupting this country. So that's coming up as well. Also, it's not hard to predict. I mean, we know their methodology. But I predicted in the last 6 months with the cybersecurity legislation, it's now passed the House, it's in the Senate, that the government would stage massive cyber attacks against themselves and others. They've now done that on the heels of this CNN special that aired last night, and they're about to ram through the Senate. And they admit on CNN they're going to take over the web, shut it down during emergencies. The Pentagon will run everything. They're already setting up the grid before they even pass the law. Very important radio broadcast lined up for you today, and we'll start breaking these stories down one after the other on the other side of this quick 1-minute break. The websites are Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Visit them while you still can. Now, there is a chance we can educate the public and stop this takeover of the web, but that's up to you. Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
The internet cuts both ways. It can be used as a tool of incredible liberty and freedom and empower the free market and uplift the very poor and make the middle class wealthy, or it can be used as an iron fist of surveillance and control. And that's what DARPA and the Pentagon openly designed the internet for in the 60s and 1970s. That's not my opinion. That's what all the experts from across the political spectrum who've broken down the history of the internet worldwide clearly have concluded. In fact, here is the Wall Street Journal from this weekend. And this is the front page of the Wall Street Journal and it says the digital dictatorship, and an image of a man with barbed wire wrapped around him as he sits in front of his computer. It's fashionable to hold up the internet as the road to democracy and liberty in countries like Iran, but it can also be a very effective tool for quashing freedom. And it mainly focuses on how China, Iran, and others use it to crack down and control people. But if you really look at the cybersecurity bill that's passed the House, that's actually what's being set up here in the United States. And simultaneously, the exact same policies and control systems are being put in Western Europe, England, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. So I'm going to get into this first today, then the latest on the kamikaze attack in North Austin on an IRS/FBI office building. We'll break down the latest developments on that front coming up. Also, Ron Paul has won the CPAC poll of who Republicans would like to be the next president. No surprise to us here. He got the biggest standing ovation last year at CPAC. But this is important because the Democrats and Republicans are beating the drum for new wars. But all the polls show the Democrats and Republicans don't want a new war. So we'll be going over that today. The bigger question is, what pretext will be used by our government as a reason to go to war with Iran? And so I want to go back over some of the history of declassified government-sponsored terrorism today, including something new last week that the State Department declassified. In fact, I sent you guys that IM. I didn't see it in my stack. Will you print me the actual State Department page? Where they've now declassified that Bobby Kennedy, of all people, along with Robert McNamara, wanted to stage terror attacks against U.S. facilities as a pretext for war in Latin America. I know that Kennedy had said no to Operation Northwoods, a plan to bomb U.S. cities, but it looks like the Kennedys were for bombing U.S. bases to blame it. And Kennedy only got mad after the Bay of Pigs when the CIA sabotaged their own operation and then blamed it on him, and that's when he had his big wake-up call. We know Kennedy's never been perfect, but 50 years later, they are now declassifying all of this by the day. And, of course, then LBJ did stage some events, the USS Liberty and, of course, Gulf of Tonkin, both of those now completely declassified as staged